They think they could say anything because I'm a nice person and I'm accessible. Yeah. So they get to they F around and find out the real deal once they do.
15 and 22. Damn.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Now I can kind of see why he's probably not claiming it, because it looks bad on his reputation, because he has a history. Like if you look at like even Beyonce, like he was in his 30s and Beyonce was barely 19.
Now you out here talking about Matthew and how he cheated on you for 31 years and you stayed all 31 years, and that's why Beyonce staying all 31 years with her husband.
What if I told you Jay-Z may have a secret son, and instead of taking a simple DNA test, he's allegedly silencing him with threats, planted evidence, and even gunshots? This isn't just a paternity case, it's a fight against a powerful machine.
They definitely don't want it out there. I would say that. It's crazy to me. You know, I'm not asking for no money or nothing. I'm not asking for no handouts or nothing like that. I work every day. I take care of my family. Only thing I'm asking for is...
It's getting real intense. Tina Knowles isn't holding back when it comes to protecting her family. She's allegedly issued a serious warning to Rymir, the man claiming to be Jay-Z's son, telling him in no uncertain terms that pursuing this could come back to haunt him. Meanwhile, Rymir insists all he wants is a paternity test to settle things once and for all. He's frustrated, especially given the rumors that his mother might have been underage at the time of his birth, adding yet another layer to this tangled situation. The whole thing feels like a high-stakes standoff where silence, legal moves, and emotional baggage collide.
Just a really smart guy, very smart and very charming and a good person.
But you're Beyonce's mom. Did you ever sit him down when you knew they were getting serious and say, listen, Jay-Z, here's the scoop. You better treat her with love and kindness and respect?
I never had to do that because he told me that he told me those things, that he loved her and that he...
Rymir claims that ever since he began publicly speaking out about his possible connection to Jay-Z, the backlash has been more than just verbal. He says he's received threatening calls, had strangers appear at his home in the middle of the night, and even alleges that someone tried to frame him by planting a firearm in his car. Now, Beyonce's mother, Tina Knowles, has reportedly stepped into the fray. According to Rymir, her team reached out with a clear message: stop bringing up Jay-Z. But fans aren't staying silent. Many are calling Tina out for seemingly going to greater lengths to shield her son-in-law than she ever did to support her own daughter's peace of mind. It's raised an uncomfortable question. Why is Tina always so quick to defend Jay-Z, even when his actions continually put Beyoncé in a painful spotlight? And when it comes to this story, with all its twists and accusations, people are left wondering, who's telling the truth, Tina, Jay-Z, or Rymir?
Shot at. Somewhere in September, he was in the parking lot with other people, near where he's at living now. And out of all the cars there, his was the only one shot up. So we believe that was a nexus or a connection, I believe, between the case and what's going on, because it was around the time.
A leaked phone call between Tina Knowles and a member of her team briefly surfaced online before being swiftly taken down. But the damage was done. Several outlets picked it up, and the contents were explosive. In the call, Tina allegedly described Rymir as a problem that needs to disappear, warning that if he didn't stop speaking out, he'd deeply regret challenging her family. She even referenced sealing court records and hinted at pulling strings in New Jersey, where legal battle has been ongoing for years. At one point, she reportedly said, "He doesn't know who he's messing with. We shut this down once, we'll do it again." This revelation comes right after Jay-Z filed new legal documents, accusing Rymir of engaging in years-long harassment fueled by false claims. According to documents obtained by Us Weekly, Jay-Z's attorneys argue that Rymir's latest lawsuit is simply a continuation of his relentless pursuit of Jay-Z's close associate, Shaw Carter. The filing claims that multiple courts have already rejected Rymir's allegations, and his refusal to comply with those rulings has even led to a contempt order. But from Rymir's side, the story is far more troubling. He says he's not the one doing the harassing, he's the one being targeted. In fact, he alleges that things escalated to life-threatening levels. On the Hip Hop News Uncensored podcast, Rymir and his legal guardian, Dr. Lily Coley, revealed that shortly after he filed a paternity suit and requested a DNA test from Jay-Z, he was shot at. It happened in September, in a parking lot near where he lives. Despite several cars being present, his was the only one riddled with bullets, a detail that he and Lily believe is no coincidence. The intimidation didn't stop there. Dr. Coley shared that strange cars began appearing on her lawn and unknown individuals knocked on her door in the early hours of the morning. She sees these acts not just as attempts to silence Rymir, but as part of a larger fight. This isn't just about Jay-Z anymore, she explained. It's about standing up for everyday people who are being bullied and shut down by those in power. Coley also mentioned that they're pushing for legal reform, including support for legislation like the Pro Se Abuse Act, which would help protect people navigating the legal system without high-powered lawyers. She's also pointed out that under New Jersey law, if someone refuses a paternity test, they can legally be presumed to be the father. Right now, Jay-Z is not just alleged to be Rymir's father, he's presumed, she said. And Rymir isn't alone? Former ROCFLA artist Oshino has publicly supported him and revealed another disturbing claim. Someone allegedly planted a gun in Rymir's car to frame him. According to Oshino, Jay-Z initially tried to pay Rymir off to stop talking, but when the offer was refused, more sinister efforts began to unfold.
His alleged son?
No. If you talk to him personally, that's his son.
You think that's his son?
Yeah. You know what I think his son? First of all, Jay-Z offered him money. At first he offered him bread, like, and everything, but his aunt, this is like his caretaker didn't like approve of it. She said, no, Jay-Z got a lien on her house, all type of shit that was going on. Yeah, the lady put up paperwork and everything with his name on it and all that. I mean, but young boy's so thorough though. He just want a dad. He not trying to get no money. He not trying to do none of that. I mean, that's why. But something happened to him, and I was like, yo, that sounds kind of weird. He said he was coming out from work, going to work, and it was a gun in his car. Like when he opened the door, he seen the gun. He said he went to go call his man, like, yo, did you leave a gun in my car? His man's like, no. He said, why you on the phone talking to his man? The cops pull up and lock him up. He said, he's telling the cops, no, that's not my gun. He's like, so he went in the building he was in, and they seen that somebody pulled up and put the guns in his car.
Oh.
And pulled off. I said, bro, I don't know nobody in the hood that got guns to just waste like that to do that. I don't know what. He's like, yeah, so like Jay-Z had a gag order against him, like trying to get a gag order and try.
Oshino, a former ROCFLA artist, added another layer to the unfolding drama when he confirmed long-swirling rumors that Rymir's late mother, Wanda, was just 15 years old when she became pregnant, allegedly by Jay-Z, who was in his early 20s at the time. While that detail alone is deeply unsettling, it also adds more weight to the central issue. All Rymir has ever wanted is a paternity test, new Magia circus, no camera crews, just answers. Despite that, Jay-Z has labeled Rymir the aggressor, accusing him of harassment. But how does one reconcile that claim when the man asking for a DNA test is the one who's been shot at, surveilled, and followed? Rymir didn't chase fame, he followed legal channels. He filed documents, he asked the court for help, and what did he get? Courtroom delays, intimidation, and in one instance, gunfire. Rymir believes Jay-Z used his influence to manipulate the judicial process itself. In fact, Rymir filed a lawsuit accusing not just Jay-Z, but 6 judges, of conspiring to dismiss his case under false pretenses. According to Rymir's legal team, Jay-Z claimed he had no property in New Jersey, which, if true, could strip the court of jurisdiction. But public records revealed otherwise. Property deeds and tax filings reportedly proved Jay owns real estate in the state. That alleged misrepresentation became the centerpiece of a broader lawsuit alleging judicial misconduct and constitutional rights violations. The lawsuit also describes an alarming pattern of harassment. Rymir and his legal guardian, Dr. Lily Coley, say they were followed, stalked, and even had cars pulling into their yard. At 4 a.m. they believe these coordinated efforts were designed to intimidate them into silence. And in their view, Jay-Z's camp was behind it all. So with all this turmoil already surrounding Rymir, the last thing anyone expected was for Tina Knowles, Beyoncé's mother, to step in and allegedly make things worse. Instead of de-escalating the situation, she reportedly sent warnings to Rymir, telling him to stop mentioning Jay-Z or face consequences. What's more disturbing is the perception that Tina often defends Jay-Z more fiercely than she does her own daughter. Let's not forget Jay-Z publicly admitted to cheating on Beyoncé, causing her immense emotional pain. Yet Tina has continuously stood by him, calling his infidelity a mistake and posting affectionate messages about him online. Too many fans, it's baffling. Why such loyalty to the man who publicly humiliated your daughter? And now, she's allegedly threatening a young man who simply wants to know the truth about his identity. But the controversy surrounding Tina doesn't end there. Singer Jaguar Wright made explosive claims, alleging that Tina actively encouraged Beyoncé's early relationship with Jay-Z, going so far as to push her daughter into the spotlight of a man with significant power and industry clout. Jaguar even suggested, in a particularly wild twist, that Tina may have had her own personal history with Jay-Z long before Beyoncé entered the picture. These speculations cast a long shadow, but they're not the only ones. Following her divorce from Richard Lawson, Tina reportedly made him sign a non-disclosure agreement, NDA, that specifically barred him from speaking negatively about Jay-Z. That detail raised eyebrows. Why would such a clause be necessary unless Richard had seen or heard something Tina wanted to keep buried? Adding to the public's discomfort is Tina's apparent pattern of overlooking deeply concerning behavior. When Beyoncé began dating Jay-Z, he was already on probation for a violent crime. He had pleaded guilty to stabbing music executive Lance Rivera and was sentenced to 3 years of probation. That troubling backdrop did nothing to dim Tina's glowing praise for him. But perhaps the most disturbing claim comes from David Lee Brewer, Beyoncé's former vocal coach. Brewer recalls Tina making cruel, colorist remarks about Ashley Tamer Davis, a talented member of Beyoncé's early girl group, Girls Time. Brewer alleges Tina once said, "Ashley is talented, but she is so big, she towers over the other girls, and she is too dark and ugly." Statements like that suggest a long-standing pattern of problematic behavior behind the scenes. Behavior that casts Tina's current threats toward Rymir in an even more troubling light. And just when you think the situation couldn't get any more surreal, Tina allegedly turned her attention to Nicki Minaj for the rapper, expressed sympathy for Rymir, and shared her own uneasy experiences with Jay-Z. Rather than addressing the core issue, Tina reportedly went on the offensive again, lashing out at someone simply for voicing support for truth and accountability. Here's how things escalated. It all began when 50 Cent shared a screenshot of a headline about Rymir's lawsuit against Jay-Z. In typical 50 fashion, he added a snarky caption, "Can somebody help me with this one? What does this man want? He's a 34-year-old man. There is no back child support. Why exactly does he want?" But fans weren't focused on the caption, they couldn't stop commenting on the resemblance. Joking, "That nose says it all." Then, Nicki Minaj jumped into the conversation. She reposted 50's screenshot with a more neutral, yet subtly shaded, comment, "Oh, is this why he was trending the other day? I don't know, I hope all is well. To God be the glory." But for Nicki, this wasn't just a one-off. She's been publicly criticizing Jay-Z and ROC Nation for weeks now, even hinting that a federal RICO case could be heading their way. As the drama built, Tina Knowles once again made her presence known. Tina posted a fan-made video of herself and Beyoncé to her Instagram story with a caption many interpreted as thinly veiled shade aimed at Nicki. It read, "Good morning. It feels good to wake up knowing my faves didn't lose their minds like some people. Y'all have a great day. Remember to ignore the ignorance, as Miss Tina would say." Later, Tina attempted to walk back the comment, insisting the post had nothing to do with Nicki or anyone in particular. But the internet wasn't buying it. Between allegedly threatening Rymir for seeking a paternity test and now seemingly throwing shade at Nicki Minaj for speaking her mind, fans have begun turning against Tina.
Back to my apartment to tell me that I had made the right decision. She told me it was just as well. Now, I don't know if I want to read this part because this is what she said to me, and it's really nasty. And this is a direct quote. "Ashley is talented, but she is so big. She towers over the other girls."
And what you won't hear from the mainstream media is just how deep and disturbing the conspiracy theories about Tina Knowles have gotten in online spaces. As the public's trust in celebrity culture and media narratives continues to erode, Tina, once widely seen as the supportive, fashion-forward mother of one of the world's most successful entertainers, has become a central figure in a web of increasingly dark allegations. What was once mere celebrity gossip has, in some corners of the internet, morphed into a full-blown mythology, with Tina cast as a kind of shadowy puppet master behind the Carter family empire. Across platforms like X, formerly Twitter, TikTok, Reddit, and even niche YouTube channels, users are trading stories, suspicions, and so-called receipts that paint a radically different portrait of Tina Knowles, and the themes are nothing short of chilling. One of the most common claims, that Tina isn't just an overprotective mother defending her Daughter's legacy: she's a self-proclaimed Creole witch with a long history of spiritual manipulation. This accusation has been growing for years, but it recently gained renewed momentum after her name surfaced in connection to Rymir's paternity case and the subsequent backlash. Tina received 4 allegedly threatening him. The accusation isn't just about her being controlling, it's more metaphysical. Some conspiracy theorists argue that Tina has allegedly tapped into old spiritual practices, blending Louisiana Creole traditions with darker forms of occultism. According to this narrative, she isn't just defending Jay-Z, she's spiritually binding him to the family, using rituals to secure his loyalty and silence those who threaten the dynasty. The theory goes that her influence over Jay-Z didn't begin with business, partnerships, or family ties. It began on a spiritual level. Years ago, one user on X wrote, "Tina Knowles is a Creole witch with nothing else on her mind but living vicariously through her daughter. What she needs to do is focus on the reason she has so many failed marriages. Jay-Z is her spiritual project, and she'll destroy anyone who interferes." While that might sound dramatic, it's far from the most extreme post out there. Another viral comment took the conversation to a much darker place. The fact that Tina Knowles is trying to insert herself into all this is pathetic. Where was she when her son-in-law was humiliating her daughter in public? Where was she when all those industry sacrifices were being made? You evil witch. Your whole family is crazy and satanic. That comment, like many others, ties into a wider and long-standing theory that the Knowles-Carter empire is built not just on talent, but on dark alliances, secret rituals, and power plays orchestrated far from the public eye. These are, of course, unproven claims, but in an age where deepfakes, whistleblowers, and social media leaks have blurred the line between fact and fiction, people are more willing than ever to believe the worst. Some go even further, pointing to Tina's behavior during pivotal career moments in Beyoncé's life as evidence of her alleged manipulation. They cite the early Destiny's Child years, where Tina managed the girls' styling and reportedly clashed with several group members and their families. Some now look back at the controversial lineup changes not as business decisions, but as signs that Tina was systematically eliminating any threats to her daughter's spotlight. Vocal coach David Lee Brewer's past statements, where he recalled Tina making colorist remarks about one of the girls, have only added fuel to the fire, giving critics a foundation for their claims of elitism, favoritism, and cruelty masked behind a mother's love. And then there's the new wave of accusations tying both Tina and Jay-Z to occult practices. On TikTok and YouTube, content creators have been dissecting music videos, interviews, and even clothing choices for clues that suggest a darker agenda. Hand gestures, jewelry, lyrics, and even stage designs have all been repurposed as alleged symbols of initiation or control. In these spaces, Tina is not just a fashion designer or matriarch, she is portrayed as a high priestess figure, deeply embedded in the machinery of fame, power, and spiritual manipulation. These conspiracy theories often intertwine with real-life details, twisting known facts into ominous speculation. For example, Tina's decision to have her ex-husband, Richard Lawson, sign an NDA during their divorce has drawn attention. Some online theorists question why an NDA would be necessary unless there was something to hide, particularly about Jay-Z. What did Richard see? One Reddit user asked, "Why is Jay-Z off limits in legal paperwork? What secrets does Tina not want leaking?" Even Tina's social media posts, once seen as harmless affirmations or motivational quotes, are now being reinterpreted as cryptic messages, coded warnings, or veiled threats. What's even more chilling is the idea that Tina's influence extends into legal and industry circles. Some of Rymir's supporters believe she's part of a system that silences threats to the Carter brand before they gain momentum. From court records being sealed, to alleged intimidation of Rymir and his legal guardian, to NDAs and backdoor negotiations, Tina's hand is suspected to be in all of it. Now, of course, there's no concrete evidence proving any of these allegations. Much of it is based on speculation, coincidence, and the human tendency to find patterns where none may exist. But that hasn't stopped the narrative from spreading. In fact, the more Tina tries to deny her involvement or downplay her intentions, the more suspicious some people become. Silence, for them, is no longer neutral, it's damning. What's becoming clear is that Tina Knowles' image as a nurturing, elegant, behind-the-scenes force in Beyoncé's life is quickly being replaced by a much more controversial persona. In this new version of the story, she's not just a mother, she's the architect, the enforcer, the guardian of a legacy that many believe was built on more than just music and ambition. Whether these claims are born from fact, fear, or fiction, one thing is undeniable: the public perception of Tina Knowles has shifted dramatically. As new voices come forward and old rumors resurface, the mystery deepens. And now, in a media age where narratives are shaped by virality, not verification, Tina's legacy might no longer be defined by what she's done but by what people believe she's capable of.